Hello and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I am reviewing something quite special, rare, unusual and old. It is the Gordon Macphail Lochside Distillery, or as they would say, Lochside Distillery. Lochside Distillery, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a 34-year-old, 46%, distilled in 1981 and bottled in 2015. Lochside Distillery fits in that category of, was it good then, is it good now, or people making a fuss of it because it is a closed distillery now? Well, probably all of the above, to be completely honest. Some people might have loved it, some people might have hated it, but when it's a closed distillery, it's finite, it's rare, it's old, it's unusual. Of course it's going to be special, 34 years old, by any standard is special, let alone a closed distillery. So 1981 it was distilled, means that it hasn't been closed for ages and ages, but the style will still be a bit different, an older style. It is a Highland whiskey, but it'll be an older style, and that's probably why it's shut. Maybe just didn't keep up with the times of profitability, but who knows? We can speculate about that. Let's get nosing, let's get tasting. No water today, 46%, there's no need for that. Now look, I'm not quite sure exactly what cask it is, but I would probably say, it could be a bit of a blend from a sherry and a bourbon. It's really quite hard to say. 161 bottles, there's not really many bottles of this. So I'd say it's still a single barrel. There is an unusual perfume to it, It's like taking rose water and putting a bit of brown sugar in it, a little bit of that caramelly rose water, or caramelizing rose water at that. There is a strange smell to it, a slightly earthy, funky smell. I'm not getting that much of an old bottle effect. It was only bottled in 2015, but I'm still getting that old bottle effect that I referred to, but actually that could be the distilling style. The distilling style could be the coal fire, the wood fire, how they malted. It could be that as well. So I'm getting that really old-fashioned smell in there. Definitely, I'm getting that old-fashioned smell in there after I smell it again. So that style in itself is unusual. When you've smelt that a few times and you go back to modern expressions and modern distillation processes, you start to recognize that strange smell. So it has a very old-style coal, sooty kind of aroma to that, but I'm getting subdued fruit. I'm getting apple when it's close to rotting, like a bruised apple. I'm getting strawberries. I'm getting vanilla, chalkiness, a drying nose. It is quite herbal. I'd say tarragon, thyme, a slight menthol smell to that. I'm getting a dusty, fusty smell, like you would if you have an old chest with old books. I'm definitely getting that old book, old paper smell, that like slightly damp but dry enough to not be moldy, but wet enough to have that kind of fustiness. A strange citrusy note on that as well, right in the back nose. But there is a very weird kind of smell, and that's that old distillation malting process, and it's sooty. It's like burning candles, burning glass, hot glass. And in this case, it's definitely not old bottle effect. It is that process of distillation. So if you see my video about older whiskies, this could be it. Slightly fruity but subdued. All the flavors are complex yet subdued, soft, but at the same time they're very much present. It's quite interesting. Oh, wow. So unusual. You can definitely taste that sootiness that old-fashioned flavor, that sootiness, that smokiness, that isn't peat, but it's a smokiness, and I'm guessing it's from how they dried the malt and perhaps distilled. Coal fire, maybe wood fire. Very, very, very small hints of fruit. Condensed jam, I'd say condensed strawberry jam. Maybe boysenberry, blackberry, but like a berry jam, a dark berry jam. But very soft, not sickly sweet. It is herbal, not in your face herbal. Very subtle, delicious herbal. Definitely tarragon, a hint of thyme, and it's got a menthol, like a nice menthol feel to it as well. An excellent dram. Not in your face, quite soft. 46%, 34 years. It's definitely subdued and mellowed over the years. What's strange about it though, it has a strange malty taste. So it's got a strange malty taste. You know, like almost, I can't even explain it. Like a sourdough. That's it. It's got a strange funk, like a sourdough bread, and in the best way possible. In the best way possible. It's extremely exciting. So I would never say that like some of my descriptions, I know they seem a bit out there, but you know, I'll tell you if it's in a bad way or a good way. This is definitely sourdough funk in the best way possible. And for 46%, it is quite complex. The finish is medium to long, absolutely delicious. But not just delicious, it is freaking strange, this whiskey. It is really strange. I actually had this, and I want to thank Lloyd. Lloyd the Godfather. Cheers. I actually want to thank Lloyd for this, because Lloyd gave me this to sample. And I must say, if it wasn't for the very generous benefactors, I would not be able to sample some of the really rare stuff that I've got. These guys are old school whiskey drinkers, old school whiskey lovers like Lloyd, and they bought these up when it probably wasn't even known to be rare. You know what I mean? It's really quite compelling. And we actually had a tasting at a bar, and everything was a modern expression except for this one, and it just stands out like a sore thumb. It's just like there's something weird about this. It is not a modern expression. You can just pick it. You can only do that with comparison, and when you try more of these kind of older expressions, closed distilleries, then you start to pick which one is which, because they have such a distinct style that just isn't replicated anymore, bar very few distilleries today. Until next time, look, thank you for joining me today. Until next time, please eat, smoke, drink. Cheers.